Hi there! Today I'm going to show you how to make a flip-flop card, and it features the Garden from the Heart stamp set, which is coming out in the new Occasions mini catalog in January of 2010. So we're going to start with a piece of cardstock that measures 5.5 by 6 3/4, and you need a paper cutter that has a cutting blade and a scoring blade. This is the scoring blade, this is the cutting blade. So I'm going to slide my card in to 2 3/4, and I'm going to place my scoring blade at the 1 1/4 inch mark and score up to the edge. And then I'll slide it to 4 and do the same thing. 1 1/4, slide it up. You don't want to push too hard on your scoring blade because it can cut through the paper, but you need it hard enough so that you see the score. So once you've done it a few times, you'll get the feel for it. Now I need my cutting blade, and I'm going to turn it portrait direction, and I want to place it at 4 1/4, and I'll place my cutting blade at 1 3/8. Okay, so I'm going to slide that up to the score mark, which is at 2 3/4, and then I'm going to pick the blade up, place it down at 4, and slide it down to 5 3/8. And then I'll turn it around and do the same thing again. Now we'll turn it back to landscape, and I'm going to line it up at the 5 3/8 mark. So 5 and 1 2 3/8. It's just the dash before the 5.5. And then I'm going to place my paper cutter, my cutting blade, and cut from 1 1/4 to 4 1/4, so that we're connecting these two cuts. And then I'll turn it around and do the same thing. I know I'm kind of blazing through these measurements, but if you check my blog, I will have all of the measurements in print there with the card if I can't figure out how to put the writing on my video. I'm still learning. Okay, so now we're going to fold one direction and one the other direction, and we'll take the bone folder and just make those creases nice and neat. Okay, now comes the fun part. Now I want to take a piece of watercolor paper, and I'm taking the hat from Garden from the Heart, ink it up really well, and this is black StazOn ink because I'm going to watercolor, and then I want it over more a little to the right because of the way that my flip-flop card folds. And now I'm going to take my Watercolor Wonder crayons, and I'm going to watercolor with a blender pen. I mean, not a blender pen, an aqua painter. So you want to squeeze it, get it wet, and then I'm going to start picking up the Old Olive, which is the color of my card, and I'll start watercoloring this. And with watercoloring, you can always make it darker, but you can't make it lighter, perhaps obviously. So you don't need to go really dark at first. You can always come back in and add color. And then when you're ready to change colors, you just run it on the paper until it's clean, and then you pick up your next color. And I'm going to pick up Pumpkin Pie. So I'm going to add some pumpkin details to this later. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside to dry a little bit, and I'll bring back my card. I have a little strip of Designer Series paper. This is also brand new from the Occasions mini catalog. It's called Sweet Pea, and it comes with so much paper. It's the biggest paper stack you've ever seen. Well, I don't know if that's true, but it's huge. So that is 3/4 of an inch by 4 3/4, and the mat is 1 inch by 5 inches. And I'm going to wrap a piece of ribbon around it, and what I like to do when I'm doing ribbon is do a little adhesive at either end and a little strip in the middle, and place it over the ribbon. That stabilizes it, but I can still move it. And then a perfect knot is right over left, left over right. If you do it that way, You get a perfect knot every time. Now I'm going to get a piece of Very Vanilla and my StazOn, and I'll stamp this image from the same stamp set on the vanilla, and then I'm going to watercolor that bird with my watercolor crayons again. And this is pumpkin pie, and I'm sure there aren't any pumpkin pie colored birds in nature, but he goes with the card. Now I'll take my punch that matches the stamp and punch that right out. You always punch upside down so you can line it up. Now I'm taking a piece of DSP from Sweet Pea, the same one, matted in chocolate chip. There's that. And then place that right in the middle. And now all we have to do is adhere our watercolored piece. And I will center that. And then the last thing that I want to do is I want to add these dried herbs. I guess they would really look like that. All around the border of the card. And there we have it. Flip-flop card featuring new products from the Occasions Mini Catalog. Thanks for watching. Bye!